Hi, Kevin here. Before we actually get to the show, I wanted to acknowledge someone that wasn't unable to make it today. From seasons 3 to 6, Mishu Vellani portrayed Kia in Join In. Unfortunately, she was unable to make it to the recording of the episode today. So, we here at Look Up, Look Way Up wanted to acknowledge her contribution to Join In. So, throughout the program, you'll see clips of not only Pamela as Nikki, but you'll also see clips of Mishu as Kia. So thank you, Mishu. Your fans haven't forgotten. So let's get ready to cast your cares away and enjoy the show.
Join in, cast your cares away. Join in, fun is coming your way. Join in, it's a brand new day. Join in, so get ready to play. You can clap along, you can dance along, you can sing along. Better get set to begin. Join in, there's lots to do. Join in, songs and stories old and new. Join in, a magic spell or two. Join in, and it's just for you. Join in, join in, join in, join in, join in, join in, join in.
Okay.
Man, this is crazy.
Girl, you look amazing. You look the same.
Thanks.
You haven't.
She really does.
That's terrific.
And no work has been done.
Oh well. Amen. Amen. I can't say the same.
Where are you both? I really need to know this.
Right now, I'm in Maui.
You're in Maui.
Yeah, this is my hotel room.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
open the curtain. You can see the sun is up.
And where is home?
I live in Los Angeles.
Oh my God, I'm in Los Angeles.
Where are you?
I was in LA forever. Not now, but
Not
I was.
now?
Yeah, I was for years.
Oh my God. How did I not know that?
Living in LA.
I've been here since 94.
Put your feet up. Wow. And Rudy, where are you? You're in Toronto, right?
No, I live in Lagoon City up in Lake Simcoe.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
retired.
Oh my
Finally. How
So
long ago?
I have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you guys mind if we start? I don't want to keep.
No, I know it's horrible. We're just like, what?
No,
the
no,
hell?
no. No. Please. Like, answer. This is amazing. This is legitimately a join-in reunion right now.
I know.
That is.
And I only
amazing.
did one season. Didn't you guys do 4 seasons altogether, or was it 3?
6.
Yeah.
We did 6.
Yeah.
You did 6.
Yeah.
So she did 5 seasons, and I did 1 season.
I thought you did 2.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Okay, maybe. I thought
Yeah.
you were in the first 2 seasons.
No, she did 1 season, I think.
It was only 1? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So tell me what the audition process was like for Join In.
I don't remember.
Well, I remember.
I just remember going in, meeting with Jed, and that was it. And
That's because you
Yeah.
knew how to sing, okay?
Yeah.
I never sang
Yeah,
in my
Rudy
life.
did.
Marty and Rudy have the most beautiful singing voices, so I don't even believe that they auditioned. But I had to audition it was in a church basement.
Church. Yeah, it was in a church somewhere.
And on
Yeah.
St. Clair. On St.
Uh-huh.
Clair.
That's right.
Yeah. And I went downstairs and I had this red marching band coat
Oh,
on.
here he comes.
Here's Jed.
Oh, my
hey.
stars. I would
this
never
Jed?
recognize this man in a million years.
Oh my God. Hi, Jed.
Welcome.
Hey!
Hey, Jed.
Pamela. My God,
I
Rudy.
know, what the hell?
Hey, Marty. All right, man.
Hey, how are you?
Lucy.
Wow.
Welcome, Jed. Welcome.
Wow.
Jed.
I'm telling you, nobody's
This is
changed.
crazy.
Okay? Nobody's
Wow.
changed. Little gray hair. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Oh.
Good to see you. Good to see you. We were just asked what the audition process was, and I said that I didn't believe that Rudy or Marty could possibly have been asked to audition because they're such gorgeous singers. But I walked into the basement of that church with this marching band jacket on, with it was red with gold buttons, and I think I looked totally bizarre. And
Yeah.
somebody said, "Can you sing something?" And I'm like, "No." And he said, "Can you sing How Much Is That Doggy in the Window?" And I said, "Yes." And I sang that, and you were like, "That's good."
There we go.
Yeah.
That's how demanding we were.
Yeah.
It was a real study process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly learned so much from these two beautiful singers, how to have confidence in my voice and not be shy.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah.
no, it's true. And Jed and like I was an actress. I was a student at the National Theatre School when I was doing this job in the summers.
Right.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was a young girl trying to figure it all out, and to have these two beautiful, beautiful, accomplished singers and performers as my partners was such a gift. It really was. It was my first professional job, and I was still in school. So
And then you
Wow.
took off like a rocket.
well, that's because
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a
Absolutely.
shitty agent who told me that I can't do both jobs. That's what happened.
Oh.
I hope you fired that agent.
I did.
Good.
I only found this later. She's like, "Oh no, I told them that you can't do Street Legal and Join In." And I said,
Join In.
"Why? Like Join In shoots here and Street Legal's on hiatus." And she was like, "Well, because you've moved on from children's television."
Right.
Oh.
Fired her right then and there. And then I called Jed and I told him what happened because
Oh,
he didn't know
wow.
what the hell happened either. Like it was
Yeah.
horrible. I was
Mhm,
really
mhm.
sad. It was a wonderful job.
Yeah, we missed you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
You-
you're
you know
great.
what?
You're great.
As a child watching the show,
Yeah.
I never forgot it, ever.
Great.
Wow.
Every single time someone would even say the words "join in,"
I know.
Together.
It's funny that way, isn't it?
it instantly popped into my head.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Jed, like, I wanted to ask, where'd the idea for Join In come from?
As much as we can sort of ever determine where an idea comes from, it came about because I had been offered the chance to produce Polka Dot Door.
Right.
And at the time, I was sort of debating what I wanted to do. And so I was told that I had the chance to pitch a new series as well, which I liked. I liked that idea, create a series. So I did that. And we then thought about, if you're going to do a children's series, particularly for the age group we were doing, which is kind of like, we expanded the age group a bit, but sort of, 2 to 5, 2 to 6, to whatever it's going to be. You have to be thinking 20 years ahead. That's how my mind worked.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So you had to think, so what will the world be like in 20 years? And what would we like to try to show with this program? Because it's my firm belief that the children's shows have the most influence on their audience than any other television shows.
Yeah.
They stay with you for life.
Mhm.
You remember, if it's an adventure, you remember the villain. The villains become sort of versions of the villains in your life for the rest of your life. The heroes, all
Yes,
that
that's
sort of
true.
stuff.
That's true.
And so we said, what do we want to do? I sort of asked myself what I wanted to do with this opportunity. So the actual inception of it was, I thought, well, 20 years, 25 years from now, we will have a society that is really multicultural. And we
Mhm.
can't continue to be showing kind of a white society with the occasional person who shows up from some other background. That's not the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's going to be right across the board, and you've got to show that. So I had that idea going in. That was one thing. I wanted to make sure we did that. And I
Long
wanted to,
before Jet, long before diversity and inclusivity were catchphrases.
That's
Absolutely.
true. That's
Exactly,
true.
yeah.
That is true.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's for
Yeah.
sure. Because it was actually a bit of to be honest, as far as I know, no show had ever done that.
No.
Yeah. Yeah.
For kids, particularly.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
So that was interesting. And then the second thing was we wanted to show people living together, not just living together, but working together, I should say, more than living together,
Yeah.
working together. So rather than, kid shows tended, I'm a bit off when I say this, but not many shows would show people working. They'd show them
True.
playing, which is fine. There's no problem with that.
Right.
Mhm.
We wanted to actually try and give everyone a job. And not only that, but each person had a specific talent.
Yeah.
So you needed the three of them to make something happen, which I thought was crucial.
Yeah.
So every story had to have every character
Yeah.
had to play a crucial role in whatever the overall story was going to be, you know.
Mhm,
That was
mhm.
the second thing. The third thing was that I thought that the idea was sort of being created around 85, 86 or somewhere in there. And so I thought something else that has changed is music for kids. So up until about 1980, 81, kids' music, to my ears, was very monochromatic, we'll say. So you'd see a show and somebody would say, well, now we're going to do a reggae song. And reggae is a music that comes from Jamaica. And let's do one. They'd go, bump-a-dink-dink, bump-a-dink-dink. That's just like 4/4, you know. Now we're going to do a country something. I said, well, the thing that's changed is MTV has come online. And so little kids are watching MTV with their older brothers and sisters.
Mhm.
So I really, it's crucial to me to do music that reflected a much wider palette, we'll say, than I perceived was going on. And also it had a little more balls to it.
Yeah.
One of a better way to put it.
Yeah.
But I wanted some rhythm.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
right.
I mean, rhythm is what moves, to my mind, rhythm is what moves everybody, and certainly kids.
Yeah,
So
Absolutely.
if you tap your toe, clap your hand, all that.
Yeah.
And the final thing, I know I'm going on, our time will be up after I'm finished.
You take your time.
Have a change.
The fourth thing, the other thing we wanted to do was, there was a lot of conversation at the time about kids becoming very passive in front of the television.
Mm.
So they just would sit down and just watch, you know, and that's what they were doing. And, you know, kids are by nature active. I mean, as anybody knows, kids love being active. So we wanted to create a show, hence the title, Join In, where virtually every element had an active participation element to it. So it could be sing the song, do a line from the story we're doing. Can you figure out this puzzle? I mean, you know, all the various ways you can interact with the audience. And to bring that about, one thing we did was, as Pam and Marty and Rudy may remember, was we treated the camera, all the cameras, as kind of like the kids. So if you watch the shows, people are always looking out and talking to the camera as if the child's kind of right there somehow. Isn't that right? You know, is that, you know? So it's that old fourth wall thing, but it had a very different feel to it. I thought it would draw you in.
Yeah.
And that was the goal. We wanted to draw the kids who were watching in, so they would, you know, participate with what we were doing.
Well, it worked. It worked.
Yeah,
It
great.
worked like a charm.
yeah, it was
I'm
very
sitting here, and I'm
Well,
proof of that right here.
Yeah,
Well,
awesome. Well, that's very good to hear.
I
And then we
thought
got
Wayne-
this great cast, by the way. So I'm going to throw that in too, because we can't. None of this happened. You know, TV. TV is, as everyone here will agree, TV is a tremendous collaborative effort, and you really do need to have the team. That's just it. You cannot do it on your own. I don't care who's got the brilliant idea. Anybody, you know, Chandra Ryan, she can have a great idea, but if she doesn't have the team to bring it off, it's not going to happen. So we lucked out that way, I think. The
for sure.
cast was just, you know, the greatest, and it was hard work. I wanted to throw
Oh,
this.
yeah.
You know,
We made it look easy, but it wasn't.
absolutely, and this is one of the real testaments. And Kevin, you may not even be aware of this, but one thing I never liked, and I need to apologize to the cast for this, by the way. I never did.
I'm
Never
listening.
did while we were
okay.
doing it. But one thing I never liked when I watched shows where people were singing was that it was pre-taped.
Oh,
right.
that's right.
And I
Yeah.
could always see that the lips were not
Yeah.
connected
Yeah.
Matching,
to
right.
the voice.
Mm.
Now, I don't know if kids cared one way or the other, but I did. And
Yeah.
I thought you got a much more kind of soulful and direct thing if you actually had to sing. So this poor cast, who had enough trouble as it was on our shooting schedule, because, you know, TVOntario budgets, you know, the budget for a TVOntario half hour is equivalent to about, you know, 1 minute of
Donut budget on a Shonda Rhimes show. Yeah.
Yeah, well, exactly. But that's our entire budget is like about 2 minutes of the show. So absolutely. So, you know, so we really had to, everybody had to be organized into it, and singing live with, you know, you're trying to remember, we've got 3 cameras, we're cutting, you've got the prop, all the things you have to do.
Yeah, and looking at the cameras at the right camera.
That was really
that
difficult.
was the hardest part.
Very difficult.
Yeah. But you got, everyone nailed it. So it's a testament to the cast that often, and Kevin, maybe as an audience member, you might agree with this, but often no one realized the effort that was being required to do this. So it just seemed like they're having fun in their little place, you know?
And then to top it off, I think there were 2 seasons where I got laryngitis.
Yeah.
And I had to go back in at the end of the season and lip sync all of my music.
Are you
That's right.
serious?
But I nailed it in one take most of the time.
Yeah.
Because I knew what I'd done.
I can't remember that. I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
Well, you weren't there because you didn't have to come in. You were already locked. They had to isolate my track, and I had to go back and sing again because when we were there, it may not have happened in the first couple of years. It happened later on.
It happened later on. Yeah, it happened towards the
But
end.
Pamela wasn't there when that happened.
No.
Oh, wow.
I would have to go in, sit on the stage by myself,
Yeah.
mic'd properly. They'd play it back on a monitor, and I would just have to sing right back to it.
Yeah.
And they'd go, okay, nailed it.
Now, speaking of that, as we're talking about singing live and things like that, do you have a favorite song? Do you have a favorite episode? Do you have a favorite moment from joining?
When I was one, my rattle was fun. When I was 2, that one was the happiest. Like, I feel like that one, I mean, I only did 1 season, but that song, when we went into City TV to sing at the grand piano on the 3rd floor,
Good.
I remember because Moses and Eimer asked me out after that. He met me on the what a pig. Anyway, but I remember we went to City TV and we sang that song, and we had to do we did it over and over and over because Rudy, remember you were doing those crazy harmonies and I was singing the melody. I only ever sang the melody line, and you guys were doing, and it was so beautiful.
All 3 of us?
Huh?
Were all 3 of us there?
All 3 of us together. We were learning the
It's
song.
a city, eh?
It was a City TV at a grand piano, and I forget. I'm sorry who was playing the piano, Jed.
Bruce Lee.
Right. And he was playing, and you stopped and you went, "We need a join-in album." And I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah, I know.
how about a single?
Yeah.
This song, I was so, and I sang that song to my daughter her whole childhood.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a beautiful, but with all the 3-part harmonies that you 2 did most of the work, I love that song. It's a beautiful song.
Oh, great.
Remember that song?
There were so many songs. There were just so many.
There were so many, my God. And then, you know, and they all had like 9 verses.
Yes, that's
And we're
right.
counting songs or animal songs.
Yeah.
And then you have the car goes moving, the bar goes down, and then, you know, your head would spin, go, what's next? What's next?
Yeah.
We didn't use prompters. We didn't have prompters. We had to remember a lot of that.
Yeah.
You remembered
And
all
there's
the
also a lot of that. And
They
there's
have
a lot
6
of
seasons worth to
dancing too.
remember.
I
Wow.
love dancing as well.
Oh, and then there was
That's right.
movement on top
Remember
of it.
that?
And I'm not the greatest dancer, so.
Yeah.
Rudy had to do, I mean, you know, the ones that I remember, I mean, I'm sorry to say there's so many of them in a way that it's hard to
76.
remember. Some that I recall that were really fun. There was one called We're Growing, which was
We're
actually
Growing,
popular.
yeah.
And
Yes.
We're Growing was done a couple of times. There was one called Friendship,
Yeah.
which was sung by Rudy, Pam, and Marty, I don't know if you were on that.
I might have been off because everybody got one.
There's a little girl.
And show off. Yeah.
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 Friendship, I remember very well.
Yeah.
Friendship,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that really worked out well. You know,
Yeah.
there's,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
there's so many through the year. It's very hard through the years.
It was
Oh,
I
fun.
yeah.
need to pick a favorite because I loved a lot of them. And Bruce Lee, who
Bruce.
was the music guy, Kevin did all the arranging,
Yeah. Yeah.
did all the stuff like that for us.
I was
Tremendous.
always very surprised by the like things like, you know, the more you know, the more you grow, whatever that song is.
Yeah.
That one and the friendship episode. And I was always surprised at how touching they were, you know, and
Yeah.
Ashley, Kevin, sent me an email about the impact it had on her. like
Oh,
shyness
wow.
and how it
Wow.
brought out
Well-
her feelings of, she
If-
brought her out, and I just think, I think it did that for all of us to some extent.
Right.
I mean, I went in going, oh, I got a job, I can pay for school, and like it's a gig and da da da. And there were a lot of things I didn't like about it because it was really hard work. And
Oh,
there were
yeah.
so many
Yeah, but it was
cameras.
fun.
There were
Oh,
so
yeah.
many cameras, and there was so much to keep in my head. And like I say, it's a first job, and I hated the costumes. Like, I don't know what her name was, but
Ethel.
to this day, I
Ethel.
think she had it out for me because,
Ethel.
like, how can you put a short woman in a sweater that goes over her butt in a pet skirt? Like, how can you do that to somebody? Like, it's so cruel, and it's like totally stayed in my head, like completely. Like
It's
I have
funny the way you
trauma.
describe that.
Like,
Because
I
now
have
I'm seeing it again
A
in my head.
peasant skirt on a 5'2" woman with a big tube sweater. Anyway, but I didn't know at that time you can actually say costume approval, but I didn't know that. And since then, let me tell you, Jed, I'm a nightmare to anybody on it. But what was incredible, like all that aside, was this incredible sense of what Jed is talking about, collaboration and integrity of what we're saying and to whom we're speaking to, that reached through the camera. That was our job, but it also reached into us. And I think that's why after just one season, we can all be like this together.
Yeah.
I
We
feel
had a great time.
deeply connected. I grew up with them in a certain way, and the artistic rigor that was demanded of a children's show, I think, was a blueprint of a work ethic that stayed with me my whole life. And it's not about the medium of it's a children's show versus an adult primetime TV show,
Right.
but it's actually bringing your heart into it, because you are talking to a generation of blank slate, actually not blank slates, sponges. They're sponges.
Yeah.
And you have to take that responsibility so seriously. Anyway, that it was a huge learning curve as an artist, but it was also a deeply impactful learning curve in terms of the meaning of the work that we're doing in front of a camera.
Well, Jed, may I just say something to you? That the most difficult thing for me the whole time, that 5 years or whatever, was learning the lines. It was just to learn all those lines was so difficult for me.
Every week. Yeah, for 13
Every
weeks.
week.
Well, the way we shot,
Yeah.
of course, we shot rehearse 2, shoot 3,
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right.
right? So,
Yeah.
there's a challenge there, because I think we were shooting, if I remember correctly, but I think we shot 3 shows. Like at the end of that week, we had 3 shows, I think.
Yeah.
More or less. Some of the real heavy costume stuff we did later. but-
Yeah.
And big numbers.
But that's a lot, given that you've got to remember, as we said, the songs, the moves, the cameras.
Yeah, but
And
particularly with Wayne.
doing another show, then another show, then another show. And then, as with all TV,
Yeah,
we rehearse it, on Monday and Tuesday.
yeah.
And find out that one show was 42 minutes long,
Wow.
11 minutes long. And so there's the rewrites, common for all shows, but nevertheless, another challenge for our cast. So
Yeah.
don't know
I
how
thought
they did it. I really don't.
Wayne
Sorry.
Moss was really responsible for so much of those shows too, wouldn't you think?
Yeah.
With the
And,
cameras.
there's sort of 2 things. Like Doug Williams was probably the director of Pamela over.
Yeah.
Doug was on for the first 2 years, and then Wayne was on for the rest.
Yeah.
And there's no question.
It's like night and day.
Yeah, Wayne was just the most fun guy to work with. I'll put it that way. He's
Yeah.
Doug Can't say that about the other guy.
Doug wasn't.
Remember?
No.
Oh my God. I still remember that one episode. I don't know which one it is, but where he had 90 something cuts.
Yes.
And Peter, the floor manager, showed me his list that Doug had given him. And literally it was like 1 millisecond on this camera, 1 millisecond on that camera. And he says, we can't do this. This is bloody hell.
Yeah.
But Doug insisted, I don't even know what the song, it was a song. And it's kind of like, you were there. It was in the first season. And it was like,
Yeah.
it made everybody in the booth's head spin. It made everybody on the floor's head spin. But Doug thought, hey, this would be amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, well, Doug,
And
to his credit,
everybody was cursing him out.
yeah, Doug at the end of the day got the shows,
But he got it
us
done.
to go for many years, so that worked out.
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
I remember
Yeah,
going to Lindsay. That was fun.
Lindsay was
right.
fun.
Lindsay was always fun.
Yeah.
Lindsay was always fun, and they had great cinnamon buns there, which I've never forgotten.
So I have another question for you. Now, again, it's been almost 28 years.
Yeah.
I know. I was 11 when I shot that show.
Oh,
I was 6.
I was 80.
You guys were younger than me when I was watching it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Do you think a reunion episode could happen?
I'd be up for it.
God, that would be hilarious. We should do it, Jed. That would be so fun.
That'd be hilarious.
How do you mean a union? How do you mean a reunion?
Well, let's say Jacob remained the same and everybody else got a little older.
Well, I'm not exactly sure. Like, the only reason why I said that is because my daughter, who is 12, and she has also watched a lot of Join In, as much as we can find on YouTube.
So cute.
Yeah, there's very little of it.
She asked me, because she brought like an Under the Umbrella Tree reunion episode.
Mhm.
They did one last year all about masks, all about COVID and all that sort of stuff. Now, I'm not saying that Join In has to come back and do something about COVID. I'm just saying, do you think one could be possible? Where do you see Jacob and Zack and Nikki now? Where do you see them in 2022?
Well, Nikki's a divorcee.
I'm in an old folks' home.
And Zack is panhandling for cash on the corner of
with his suspenders on still.
and his multicolored shoes. Yes. And all his pairs of Converse that broke my feet.
Oh man. So you guys have said all my questions. I was gonna ask about what's your favorite behind the scenes moment, but you guys have been telling me the whole night. Do you guys have another?
I've got lots. I just, as you get older,
When
you
we've
remember.
been flying in a plane.
Yeah, your
That's
brain
right.
is turned into a sieve. Yeah, I've been a flight attendant for 22
Yeah, we went in the plane.
almost
Jeff,
23
in the
years.
plane.
I could not, I was saying before you joined the
years?
conversation
Mhm.
that I haven't, I didn't score. Jed MacKay put a curse on me many years ago saying, you're like that Gilligan guy. You're going to have a career like Gilligan. And I said, and he put the curse on me that people kept saying, I'd like a Marty Brier kind of guy, but I don't want Marty Brier. Oh, great.
So
Thank you so much. I went into a casting to meet with a casting agent in LA one day. And hi, how are you? La, la, la. And I sit down and she takes one look at me and she goes, you look like my ex-boyfriend. Oh, well, this is going to go really well. And it went nowhere. I was out of there in 3 minutes.
wow.
She
Now-
just saw me and she went, oh, that looks like my ex-boyfriend. I'm going to hate you. And she did.
Did any of you guys take anything from set?
I'm sorry?
Did you take
Anything from the
anything from
set?
set? Like, I know some actors should take costumes, some actors take props or anything like that. Do you guys have anything from the set, like old scripts and stuff?
No.
I used to.
I
I don't know if I have them anymore. I took my red running shoes. They gave them to me. And I have a pair of suspenders, multicolored rainbow suspenders.
Oh, right.
Nice. Now, Ashley was going to do something. We were going to have this little skit.
Was she going to sing to us?
She could. We were going to do this little skit about the best part that she enjoyed the most was the juice train.
Oh, that's the best.
Oh, yeah.
She loved, like, I bet
We
you have
didn't use it
stories about
enough.
the juice train.
I don't think we used it enough.
No?
I think it was.
We tried to use it once an episode because we knew that was going to be a really popular little hook,
It worked.
And yeah, it worked. I think all right. I've heard about. It's funny, but I've heard that a lot from various
I forgot all about it.
kids who watch the show. How much they really love that juice train. The idea of it. You could send it out.
Yeah.
She was going to do this little skit about she was going to bring me a juice on a train.
Aww.
Okay.
Large train.
But she ordered the train from somewhere and she was going to paint it all that sort of stuff. But it came out a little smaller than what we thought it was going to.
Oh, of course,
okay.
it was online.
So here it is, right here.
Oh.
Right here it is. Now she painted it to if you recognize the paint job on that train.
Yeah, that kind of looks like it.
That's
Yeah.
so sweet.
So
Cry.
she wanted to paint it the colors of those puppets of the wizard and the wife and the dog, right?
Yeah.
There's-
Abra and
Yeah.
something.
Abra, Winston, and Emily.
yeah.
Emily.
This one here, the logo, join in logo is painted on
Yeah,
there.
that's awesome.
Well,
It's
that's
a little
cool.
reversed, but yeah.
Yeah.
And then this one is Abra, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
We were gonna do that.
I want to see Ashley. Why is she hiding?
Ashley is right here.
Bravo!
Go, get in the frame.
You made me cry. That's so sweet. That you
It came, like, I opened the box and I'm like, I'm so excited. Like, this is gonna be great. And then I'm like, it's teeny weeny.
Yeah.
What am I
As
supposed to do with
everything
this?
is online, right?
And I'm gonna go out. I'm gonna say this right now. This whole thing is all because of her.
Right.
know.
Wow.
You know, and I never look at LinkedIn because I say LinkedIn, screw it. But for some reason it said something, it looked way up and I thought, oh, there's a Friendly Giant reference. Hold on.
Yeah.
And then sure enough, I responded to her because normally I just delete LinkedIn, delete.
Well,
Well,
your last email, Ashley, I was thinking about it, like, because I had a big conflict and I read your email this morning and I was like, I gotta make it work.
Thank
Because
you
it
so
just-
much.
you know, like I remember seeing Mr. Dress Up
Yeah.
and it was a CBC something.
Oh yeah, it was a big show on CBC.
Remember
Huge.
that? Yeah, and it was some big party. I don't know if it was the mid-season something. Anyway, whatever. And he was there, and I was like, "Oh my God, there's Mr. Dress Up," and people weren't around him for a moment. And I walked up to him because I wanted to say how much he meant to me, and all I did was cry. I was like, and he's like, "It's okay, I understand."
well, here's
People understand. And so anyway,
she's probably gonna kill me when I say this,
I am.
Oh.
but she was just on the side here. Marty popped up first, right? And then Ashley was talking to Marty, and then Rudy popped up, and then we were having a chat, and then she was just off to the side, and when Pamela popped in,
Oh.
she was crying.
oh,
She was crying when all of you came in together.
that's
She was crying because honestly, when we were starting to throw ideas out for this show, I had no idea what show I was going to do, because honestly, I'm 40 years old now, and a lot of people are like Mr. Dress Up and you know, the Friendly Giant. They've all passed on.
Yeah.
So I can't get anyone from those shows, right? So she's like, well, I used to love Join In. And I'm like, Join In? That's awesome. Let's do that. So we got on there and we contacted all of you, and well, now here
You
we
could
are.
probably get Jani Lazan from Polka Dot Door. Jed, didn't she do Polka Dot Door?
I don't know if Jani did that.
What did she do? She did an
Dennis
amazing
Simpson.
show.
Because she may have done it also before I took over, because I was
Mhm.
over in '85 and I used to write for it, but I wasn't all necessarily.
There was something with puppets that she did, a kid's show.
You know, there is, and I'm trying to think.
And she's a wonderful
Did she
artist.
do today's
Yeah.
special? Maybe.
Oh
Michelle-
man,
Maybe she's on today's special.
Yeah.
that's
Another
a
one you
show
gotta
that that's a show I would love to do.
Jani's
Yeah,
incredible. She's
yeah.
now teaching at the National Theatre School, and she's an incredible Indigenous artist. You really need to get Jani on because she did that puppet thing forever. Like, I think I was surprised. And Pokeroo's birthday, oh my God. You know how many times I had to watch that with Chloe? Oh my God.
Did you?
How old is your daughter now?
She's my stepdaughter.
Oh, okay. How old is she?
I raised her since she was 3, and she's now 25.
Wow.
Wow.
Her master's in genetics. Yeah, she's really something. But man, that Pokeroo's birthday, I had to sit there and watch it with her every morning over a bowl of pickles and olives. What the hell? A bowl of pickles and olives and a little blanket over her head.
Oh.
Pokeroo's birthday, day in and day.
I made sure.
I cursed you, Jed. I cursed you so much in my little heart. I can't.
I made sure when I had my kids, my daughter is 12 and my son is 6. So I made sure that I showed them shows like Polka Dot Door and Join In and The Elephant Show and Today's Special. I made sure of that because they don't make television like that anymore.
No,
they don't. They should.
That's antiquated television. They don't do that anymore.
Because
I mean,
now,
even when I had to explain Join In to people in the States, I'd say, well, it's kind of like Blue's Clues, but not as much blue screen. And people were like, "Oh, are you Barney?" When I said I was in children's television, "Oh, are you Barney?" That was the #1 question that came up.
You know, an interesting, a little sort of side note, which is just interesting behind the scenes thing, is that TVOntario, starting around, I'll say, late 70s, right up to into the late 90s, actually reformulated children's television. And it's hard to believe we're so used to thinking that this has to come from the States.
Mm-hmm.
And Sesame Street came online with tremendous impact, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the elements that worked so well for them was that they tried to create a show that parents would watch with kids.
Right.
Because they felt that parents controlled the TV in a lot of households.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to do something for that. At TVOntario, we kind of went another direction, and we thought there's a little more hard education at TVOntario, but we thought, let's make it as entertaining as possible. So that's the direction, like plot lines, stories, not just quick little things, or, you know, the number thing of 1, 2, 3, 4, but more build that into something else, you know. And so actually that became the template for children's television. So if you watch a lot of the stuff, even a lot of the stuff that's happening now, that began, funnily enough, right in Toronto, TVOntario. And the group of producers, you know, Clive Vandenberg, who did Today's Special.
Yeah.
And some of the writers that were there as well are the ones sort of we were all trying to figure out how to do that.
Right.
How to make shows that are, you know, socially responsible. They actually have a message, and there actually is some little hard education in there if you find it, but you do it with plot, and partially it was because I believe that's the way you learn best.
Yeah.
You learn when you don't think you're learning.
Yeah.
Right.
You watch To Kill a Mockingbird, and you get a whole spectrum of people's attitudes, you know, in the South to racism, but you don't necessarily think that. You can actually just watch a great story, and it all comes through. So that was something else we were doing. And with the characters, we wanted to make sure that, if you notice, like, you know, they all acted, there was no deference to anybody. Everybody acted as an equal.
Mm-hmm.
And that was important to us, that you show people doing that. You don't sort of say, do you see what I just did? I said, please. You know, you don't do that.
you don't talk down to them.
We
never talked down to the
show
camera.
it.
Never
You
did.
just do it. You
That
show
was
it.
one of the things that was
And
different.
that's the modeling of it is in the performance of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, you know, our belief was this is what resonates with kids who are watching, you know, and
Clearly it
So-
did.
It totally did.
Clearly it did.
It totally did. Well, guys, I need to end it there.
Aw.
Okay. Well, we can still stay and chat, but I have to end because I only have a certain amount of time that I can use, right? So I have to say thank you very much for doing this. Like, this is truly an honor for me and an honor for Ashley to have the first Join In reunion,
yeah.
It really is.
right? Join In
Right.
reunion. That is awesome.
Right.
Thank you very, very much. You guys were a huge part of my childhood and Ashley's childhood and thousands of childhoods all over Canada.
Wow.
Thank you.
And so on behalf of all your viewers and all your fans, thank you. We haven't forgotten you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
You.
That's good to
Haven't
hear.
forgotten
Bring
you.
us together.
You know, why can't they rebroadcast those shows?
I don't know. So
Is
thank you
UN
guys.
So,
Thank you guys
Hi,
very
guys.
much for doing this. And as the big guy said, don't forget to look up, look way up.
way up.
Wait.
right.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you,
And we'll see you
Kevin.
next time.
Kevin.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Marty. Bye, Jed.
Hey, bye, guys. Let's
Bye.
keep in touch.